what I mean. If you can't take a fucking joke, then I don't want you watching my channel anyway. This video was a actual live stream in the SBS Academy Facebook group where I had a ton of questions which you'll be able to see, and they'll be time coded on how to run a successful online personal training business. Alright, or do you want it more short and punchy?
I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Adios.
So Harry's first question, do you think it's important to post regular pictures of yourself in great shape on social media? Important to recruiting new clients demonstrating expertise? I think you could be like, if you don't have a lot of intellect going on upstairs, then you better be good looking and you better have a good body. That's what I'm saying. I don't recommend just basically being in good shape and posting regular pictures. I think it depends on your target audience. For me, if I just saw you putting a picture up with you with abs, I'd think you was an idiot. That can work if it's backed up by actual valuable content to the person. So in regards to like stages, if we simplify it, it starts off with awareness, brand awareness, whether that's Shredded by Science as a company or whether it's Harry Smith as an individual. You need to grab attention. Just from our own data, when I had my before and after photo where I was 100 kg and then I was like, how much did I get down to, Tom? 77, wasn't it? Like 78 kg. I'd put about 80 kg on the photo shoot. When we compare that to our best performing illustrated graphics on Instagram, our best ones on Instagram probably have got like 1200. When I posted the one with me, actually, the before and after, even though it wasn't a traditional before and after post, because it had a meaningful message, that got like 3 times the amount of likes. So I think it depends on your target audience, and I think it also depends on the platform you're on. But be more than just a physique and actually provide some valuable content where it's less about you and it's about what you can do for that individual. So let's answer that one. Do you think that live check-ins, Skype or pre-recorded check-ins are better? Live just doesn't work, because if you've got clients, they have lives, you have life. So if your whole check-in process is you having to be with them at a specific time to talk to them via Skype or whatever, FaceTime or whatever video call software you're using, it pretty much defeats the object of trying to go to online coaching, because then you're still booking in appointments like you would if you was coaching people in the gym. So from that perspective, I recommend just pre-recorded stuff. I am actually going to go, even from my experience with working with coach and Dr. Eric Helms, we done videos each week, but I was doing a bodybuilding show and I had to do one video for my posing to obviously look at, one, my condition, but how I was actually performing the poses, and 2, just a weekly update. Now my videos were probably about 1 minute to 90 seconds long. Things you've got to take into account then is, yes, it might be a little bit quicker, but when you actually scale, or when you've got 30, 40 clients as such for online coaching, you still are trading your time for money, because you still need to do 30 videos per week. You need to watch 30 videos per week. So that's time with you watching. Some clients might give you a 4, 5, 10 minute like life story mini documentary on their weekly update. So when you have a lower amount of clients, I think the video updates work quite well. So I prefer to have spreadsheets where they can type in their stuff, and I prefer to be able to have the option to whether give them a video or give them a written response. Number 3, what are the best client acquisition strategies you've used? Facebook ads with G-forms, referrals, word of mouth. When you are, Harry obviously isn't that versed with my spiel when it comes to personal training. When you get to module 4, you'll see my thoughts on personal training. Online personal training and offline personal training are exactly the same thing. The only difference is if you physically have to be at a specific location at a specific time. If your client comes to you and they should be training 4 times a week because that's the best thing for them to do to achieve that goal, but they're only able to pay you once per week in person, then I think it's wrong and a crime to just train them once and be like, do what you want with nutrition, do what you want with your other training sessions. The systems are the systems. I'd still ask for an online update each week. And if they needed to train 4 times a week, but they could only pay for once per week, they would still have their programming. So the programming would still be the same. All of the planning, all of the preparation would be the same. The only difference is the session they have with me, whether it's 1, 2, 3 or 4 times per week, I would just still follow the program, especially the compound lifts. The difference that I would have with that in-person session is, one, I could probably get a little bit more out of them. But then what I would do if I was doing offline PT is I would leave the stuff at the end to be a little bit of fluff work. So it could be direct arm work, it could be ab work, it could be like a metabolic circuit or something. And then based on that, I would change that quite frequently. But the premise of the progressive overload in the big lifts would stay the same. So I would just make sure that if they were with me for more sessions, that it would be slightly different. And some of those sessions would maybe do stuff that they can't do on their own. If, Harry, you were to go onto Facebook now and you were to say, I am taking on online clients, the amount of people that would sign up would be predicated on the amount of value you've provided the world and how many people you've actually had an impact on. So my strategy, there is no one single best tactic. So when you use client acquisition strategies are bigger picture. And when we think of strategies, it could be, I'm going to post on Facebook once per day. That's a tactic. And it's making sure we've got multiple tactics to help improve the overall strategy of it's just a base. It's just real simple. Get people to know who you are, provide specific value to their specific needs, and then give them the option to pay you money to provide a solution. It's no more complicated. It doesn't matter if it's Instagram ads or Facebook ads or talking to someone in person or actually putting on a workshop or a webinar or an email list or a PDF. These are all tactics, and there's not one better than others. There's some which maybe are better for your target audience because it's more relevant. It's all about relevancy. Number 4, do you use email marketing platforms to generate clients? Do you think it's ethical to use these to regular touch base with clients to save time? I'm not saying email marketing is dead, because I like to sell via email or ManyChat because it's a lot more personal. So I do like that. But you've got to look at your target audience. How many of them actually check their emails? Or would it be better to focus more on the social media marketing more so than email marketing? And I can say this from experience of having like 5, 6 academy launches. Last time we didn't focus anything on really email marketing. We had an email list and we just kept them in the loop, but we didn't really focus on providing value via email. And we went with Facebook Messenger bot instead. And we got better results. But is it because of email marketing? Is it because of the Messenger bot? Or was it because we had a ton of content on our Instagram channel? And that's the thing, Harry. It's looking at all of them. And it's looking at which ones are going to give, when you're a one-man band or a one-woman band, you need to be spending your time, which is going to give you the best bang for buck. With us, we've got Tom doing the videos, so he does YouTube. He also do the Instagram videos. We've got Lawrence doing the blogs, Lawrence doing the ManyChat. We've got Mandy doing the graphics. Like, we've got a team that enables us to be on a lot of social media platforms or a lot of online marketing platforms or mediums. Going back to how you get your first lot of clients, this is how I got my clients, and it goes back to the whole, does being in shape and posting topless pictures work? For most people it does, for Gen Pop clients. For you trainers, maybe it doesn't, because we're not targeting you to get you shredded. So it's always market dependent. But with me, I basically had a lemon ice cream with a hairy chest and slightly pudgy. And then I had me dieting like a bro for probably 4 weeks, but over the time period between the pictures, it was 10 weeks. I posted that on Twitter at the time, when I was posting every single day consistently on Twitter when that was a thing. And I said, I'm looking for 10 people, or 8 people I think at the time, and I ended up taking on 10, who want 8 weeks body transformation for 100 quid. And out of those 10 people I took on, probably 7 of those were old school friends, because they already knew me. And it wasn't as if I was trying to target brand new people on the other side of the world to part with money. So this is the thing, we need to have like two categories here. We need to be working on brand awareness, and then once we've got them to follow our Instagram, we need to be working on value. And then when we actually sell something, we're targeting these people rather than these people which don't know who you are and you've not had any opportunity to provide significant amount of value to warrant the amount of money you're asking people. Thank you, please. This is good this time, isn't it? Very good. We're going to put this on a vlog. Do you think it's best to drop big PDF guides on clients as part of their welcome pack, or better to drip feed the education throughout the first few weeks? I'm going to say both. Like, if someone starts up, it should be a welcome pack. And I think you could use email then to actually address certain topics. But for me, if I sign up, I'm like, well, like online coaching, personalized online coaching doesn't work for beginners, because that's a whole nother game. If you do more educational group coaching where it's not personalized as such, but we're looking to educate as well as getting them a little bit more active and making some better food decisions, then that's cool. They're two different things. If we're looking at personalized, customized, premium online coaching, people need to have a certain educational level, people need to have a certain motivation level, people need to have a certain lifting age level. So what's this? That's what I found too regarding beginners. Yeah, I mean, I've been in this game for a while now, probably longer than most people, because I got in the online coaching thing back in the days with Luke Johnson PT, the Twitter days, X5 days, where we took the S away and we put a 5, but we didn't want to be conventional and we had a little bit of nonsense. I'm going to love that saying, Tom. But what I found, I've worked with the best people to coach online are powerlifters and bodybuilders. Powerlifters love being in the gym. Like, they love, if their session's less than like an hour and a half, they're like, what the hell? Going back to that, I reckon a welcome pack, because then it feels like they're having something and you're not holding things back from them. And some people learn at different rates. But I would use the welcome pack more for if you are going down the personalised, more like an advanced trainee, to just let them know your systems, let them know your expectations as a coach, and then for them to know what you expect of them and what they can expect of you. Any more value in using an application form on your own website versus using a G form? Just in regards to professionalism, you can customise things a lot more rather than using G forms. I mean, my thing is, when you're starting out, when you make money, you can invest money. And by investing money, you can expand. You can then start getting fancier websites. But until you've actually proven something, and I think this is what happens a lot, is people just they spend so much time on doing stuff in themselves, they never do anything. Like when I done my boot camp, I had no equipment. I just done body weight training for at least a month. And then when I actually went from one person in the first week to 2 people, to 6 people, to 10 people, to blah, blah, blah people, it just kept scaling. I was like, okay, ladies, we're going to buy a kettlebell, or we're going to get some rubber bands. And that's the thing, they've started with nothing. And then as the business grows, we all grow. We get nice goodies, we get better cameras, we get a HQ, we get nicer things. But until you make money and you prove that you can make money from starting off, don't just start investing money. Preferred payment systems for online PT. Monthly payments, PayPal, Stripe, Go Cardless if you're in the UK. Go Cardless is direct debit. So what happens there, thank you, Tom. Go Cardless is UK only. They charge 1% fee or £2 tops. So in a lovely ideal world, when people are paying 1,150 quid, I want them to be paying via Go Cardless. However, it's not as easy as that when it comes to the academy and the scale we are doing. But if you're taking on one client, even if you took on one client a day, it's really easy to set up, go Cardless, and then just create a plan. Outside of checking in and adjusting programs, what other methods do we have to overwhelm the client with value? Thank you, Victor. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you for spending your time on, what day are we on, Tom? Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday. Peaky Blinders tomorrow, yeah? Get on it. Thomas Shelby. That was terrible. Mr. Shelby. Where were we? Back on track. Outside of checking in, adjusting programs, what other methods do we have to overwhelm the client with value? This sounds silly, but giving people like a prompt response, the amount of times where we've messaged someone on Facebook, or even if it's been within 24 hours, they're like, thank you for getting back to me so quickly. Now, the beautiful thing we've got, Harry, is most personal trainers, most people are pretty terrible, which means even if you're average, it makes you look good. So rather than complaining, oh, there's so many trainers in my gym, there's so many probably bad trainers in the gym, it makes you look outstanding. Imagine if you had like 10 Nick Temanellos in your gym, then you'd probably got some grands to actually be a little bit depressed, but you don't have 10 Nick T's in your gym competing with them. And you guys are in the academy, so you're already a step ahead of the game, because you were attracted to us, which means you're less of an idiot than most trainers. Getting off topic. So yeah, just caring about them, being there for them, asking them questions, sending them birthday cards, having a Facebook group, giving them a t-shirt, having little anniversary stuff where they've been with you for a month, 3 months, the welcome pack, like all of those stuff. They probably, in my eyes, they should just be mandatory, but with other stuff, for other people, they just don't do it. So making sure everything looks crisp. It's the experience. Spreadsheets versus apps like Trainerize, MyPTHub, what are your thoughts? I think, obviously with G Sheets or Dropbox, there might be a slight small charge, but they're pretty much free. Some look better than others, but at the end of the day, if you are only getting paid because you have a nice fancy spreadsheet, then you're not really creating the service or the experience. Like, you're not coaching them, you're just saying, here's a spreadsheet. Trainerize and MyPTHub, I've looked at them all, and the reason why I didn't like them is because they don't do everything that I would want. And by having our own spreadsheets and our own systems, we can track the data we want. And we don't, one, have to pay for that, and two, we don't have to work within the limitations of someone else's company. Which do you think is better for the client and better from a business management perspective? Taking on clients regularly, all the time, or taking on waves of clients all at once in 12 week plus waves, starting people all simultaneously? So that's the difference between doing personalized one-to-one coaching, which your business model will just be, I'm open 24/7. However, by providing value on an ongoing basis, you will get, the more value you provide people and the more opportunities you create on a day-by-day basis, you will then get people coming to you like, I don't chase anyone for anything. But that's because look how much content we put out. Look how much value, whether it's in your ears via Lawrence talking on a podcast, whether it's me on a YouTube video, whether it's an Instagram post, whether it's me on Snapchat. Like, you need to, there's pros and cons for everything. A good rule of thumb is if you're doing premium, high-priced, one-to-one customized online coaching, then I go for, don't do little launches. However, if you go from, and this is what I'm going to be doing on my mini course when we rebrand, and it'll be launched in, I've done the online coaching blueprint course, but I'm actually going to be adding stuff to it, looking at group coaching, because we were one of the first to do it at SBS, and obviously we changed directions. I know the fitness guy does it well, but when you do group coaching, then yeah, do specific launch dates, because you are taking on not just one person, but you might be opening it up to 30, 40, 50 people. And that's a different business model. And that's similar to what we do at Shredded by Science, or what we have been doing with the Academy. We have specific dates. And the focus and the content and the relevancy and everything builds up to this one date. And that suspense and that scarcity with, it opens here, it closes there. You're in or you're out. And when it comes to this, I think group coaching, where you might be charging a lot less, and it might be an 8-week program, and then they go for group coaching. I'd work for beginners, let's just say females who just want to tone up, lose weight. If that's your target market, don't do premium coaching. If that's your target market, do online group coaching, which is not personalized to the individual, but personalized, specific to the goal. With which demographics have you had the most success with online PT? Either bodybuilders or physique athletes. I did train one powerlifter and he done pretty well. But anyone who's advanced, anyone who's extremely motivated, everyone who's advanced, and people who just like training and just like tracking. Last one, what are your thoughts on selling training guides without coaching? E.g. PDF download workouts for particular avatars. This thing, I spoke to one guy, his name's Justice Cousins. Mike is one of Mike Zoudos's old students. And he has honor roll strength training, honor roll something. And I know I'm probably not even pronouncing honor properly because I can't speak properly. His target audience were students. And he was trying to sell, this is when I say you need to marry your service to your target audience. And what I mean by that is if you're trying to target young dudes who don't have a lot of disposable income or would rather spend their money on the new Call of Duty game or their new iPhone X or 10, whatever you want to call it, they find the money for that, but they're not going to be finding the money to pay on a monthly ongoing basis. And this is another thing about a monthly thing. I don't have any contracts with people because if you don't want me to coach you, I don't want to take your money and I don't want to coach you. And no one likes to be in a 18-month phone contract and they see 2 iPhones have come out and they still got to wait another 3 months before they can actually get the latest version. No one likes to be tied into a contract. So when it comes to training guides, as long as you say they're training guides and they're again specific to an individual, yeah, guides can work. You just got to basically say what they are, make sure the price reflects that. So look at your current audience and get that in. I know people have tried this before and I may have recommended it. And this is when we done the lean mass group, where it was like, right, we're going to go a lower price. It's going to be semi-personalized because they could change what they wanted, what body parts they wanted to work on. And it would change the amount of volume on those body parts. And they could drop down on the list and say what exercises they want. Select, they might say, I want to do flat bench or incline bench or dumbbell or barbell or whatever it is. There was options. And when at the time I was thinking, right, what we'll do is we'll get them here. It's a lower barrier to entry. We get them signed up. And then rather than them paying 100 quid for 8 weeks, where then say, right, pay 100 quid or 130 quid or however much it was for one-to-one monthly coaching. But then I think it works to a certain degree, but the conversion rate of that's going to be very low because they've already bought into a cheaper version of this rather than buying into just the premium coaching, which is always why the guides are going to be less money, but they're more scalable than it would be just doing one-to-one coaching. What are your top tips for creating coaching spreadsheets, and do you think the info needed depends on the demographic? Would you use Google Sheets? Now, we went from Dropbox to Google to Dropbox again. Based on my coaching experience with Helms, I would use, I would use G Sheets because their mobile app, so you'd still need to download Google Drive, but this is the thing with when clients sign up, to giving them a get started PDF. And the get started PDF would be if basically saying, I want you to track your nutrition. So therefore I want you to download this MyFitnessPal. Here's an iOS version, here's an Android version. I'm catering for both. Click on here, download the app. And then you may have a little video or little things which says get started. And then in the meantime, it could be like, okay, here's G Sheets, here's how you create a Google Drive account, or here's how you create a Dropbox account. So this is my process. Bang, apply to have me coach you. And the reason why I go through the application form is for a few reasons. This is for higher price online coaching. Now, the method is they apply. And during that application, you can see it from our website. I think it may be there, it may be taken down. We ask specific questions to get specific responses and emotions. There's emotional questions and there's logical questions. And when we're trying to get potentially over £1,000 per year from an individual if we keep them, if we look at client retention stats and stuff like that, then I think the higher price you're paying, the more you can give of your time. Like if someone says, Luke, can I Skype you before I buy Shreddication Archive, which is $24.99, I'll be like, no. It is that, buy it. If you don't like it, tell me, I'll give you a refund. But when you're looking at premium coaching and you actually have to work with these individuals on a day-by-day basis, or hopefully not day, but on a regular basis, I only want to work with people which I want to work with, rather than working with people where you know and everyone knows, especially when you're starting off or even online clients, the person who just asks a few too many questions, the person who just has a slight little off tone to them. I love sacking those clients. I love it when they leave and I go, take all of your money. I don't follow convention and I like to be a little bit of nonsense. Every time, Tom. Every time. Cool. You want to talk any louder, boys? Yep. What are your thoughts on your clients signing waivers and consent forms? What are some of the things that are important to include? Should waivers or consent forms for online clients differ from one-to-one clients? So most of you guys who are doing online coaching, who are coaching people in America, if you're in UK, you're not insured for it. So in regards to waivers and stuff like that, they probably, you'd have to speak to your insurance provider to see if you're covered. But just little things like, as in you're not prescribing. And this is something you can go on our website. There's loads of websites where you can just get like templates and you just add little bits in. Right, I think that's it in regards to questions, guys. I'm just checking to see if there's any other stuff. Tom, we'll just do this as a whole vlog, yeah? Just pull it up.
Yeah.
Might as well. Sorted. There's nothing personal here.
What have you been filming on?
My phone. Perfect. And the audio's from the mic. Right, guys, thank you. If there's any questions, if you're watching this after the actual live stream, please post them in there. I've turned off all notifications. If you notice, I'm not really as active in the group. It's because I've got a lot of stuff on. Adios. Don't be conventional and be a little bit nonsense.